Tina, why do you even bother coming to school? Nobody likes you. You're so ugly. I put my head down and tried to ignore the hurtful words that were coming from Gina. She made my life a misery every single day. Why did she have to pick on me? What had I ever done to her? Why couldn't I be one of the popular girls? Then she would leave me alone. I wished I could be someone like Linda Cortez. She was the most famous influencer on Instagram. I idolized her. She was so cool and had millions of followers. I vowed that one day I was going to be just as popular as her. But before I go on, make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Then you'll be sure to get millions of followers too. I was quite the computer whiz. I could do almost anything with a computer. If only I could find a way to hack into Linda Cortez's Instagram account, I could steal all of her followers. I began to play with a few different codes through my computer. It didn't take me long before I had found the correct sequence. I tapped it in and went straight into her account. Haha, this is easy, I thought. I took all of her followers and changed them to follow my account instead. I literally left her with 0 followers. It felt so good to see how many people were following me now. So this is what it feels like to be a popular girl, I thought. But having all the followers wasn't enough. I wanted to actually be Linda Cortez. I started to dress like her. I cut my hair in the same style as her. We actually looked quite similar anyway, so it was pretty easy to imitate her. I took some photos and put them on my Instagram page. Within less than a minute, I had hundreds of comments. I had gotten away with it. Everyone believed I was the real Linda Cortez. The first thing I did every morning when I woke up was to see how many likes my last post got. But that was just the beginning. It wasn't long before things began to get even better. Because I had so many followers, companies started sending me lots of their products. I got lots of free makeup and clothes and shoes. One company even sent me a year's supply of face products. Sometimes people would even recognize me on the street. One time I was out shopping with my mom when suddenly I was surrounded by a group of young girls. "Can I have your autograph?" asked one of them. "We think you're so cool," said another. "What was that all about?" asked Mom as we walked off. "I have absolutely no idea," I said laughing. They must have thought I was someone else. I made a mental note there and then to never dress like Linda Cortez if I was going anywhere with my family. I couldn't risk getting caught out. I used to get invited to the opening nights of all the new restaurants in town. It seemed like every week I was getting a free meal somewhere, and all I had to do in return was post a selfie of me in the restaurant saying how amazing the meal was. I was having the time of my life. I even had companies offering to pay me to advertise their clothes. I made so much money just to say, "Look at me wearing my Gucci t-shirt. I love Gucci." Then one day, I got a phone call from a journalist working for Vogue magazine. "We want to do an interview with you, Linda," said the journalist. I was sure I could pretend to be Linda if I wore the same clothes as her, but I couldn't pretend that my house was Linda's mansion. Everyone knew she had a huge house. She had posted so many photos of her there, sitting by her pool or lounging on her expensive couch. What can I do? I thought. I told the journalist that I needed to check my diary, but I would get back to them. I needed some time to think. I sat down and tried to come up with a plan. That's when I heard the newsreader say Linda's name. I looked up at the TV. There was Linda walking through an airport building. The newsreader was talking again. "Look how fabulous Linda Cortez looks as she jets away to her luxury villa in the Caribbean." This was perfect. Linda Cortez was going to be out of the country on holiday, so all I had to do was break into her villa and meet the journalist there. I called the journalist and arranged to meet her at Linda's house at the end of the week. I felt so pleased with myself. I felt like nothing could stop me now. The day of the interview came, and I made sure I got to Linda's house an hour before the meeting. I snuck around to the back of the house. I couldn't believe my luck. The kitchen window was open. I climbed in and went through to the lounge. I had brought some photos of me in frames, and I put them around the room. It wasn't long before I heard a knock at the door. When I opened it, I was feeling really nervous. I wondered what I should do if the journalist saw through my disguise, but she didn't even bat an eyelid. We went through to the lounge and sat down. I started answering all the journalist's questions. It wasn't difficult. I had studied Linda for so long, I knew everything about her. We were on our final question when I suddenly saw a car pulling into the driveway. Oh no, I thought to myself, it's Linda Cortez. She must have cut her holiday short. Okay, interview over, I said to the journalist abruptly. I have to go. She looked at me, surprised, but she picked up her notebook and pen and put it into her bag. I made a quick dash to the back door. As I went, I shouted, don't be surprised if I come back in through the front door. The journalist just stared at me in confusion. I ran out into the garden and hid behind a bush. I watched as Linda went into the house. When she saw the journalist, she shouted, "What are you doing in my house? Are you a burglar?" "What are you talking about?" asked the journalist. "We have just done an interview together." "No, we haven't," shouted Linda Cortez. "I'm going to call the police right now." I wasn't going to stick around to see what happened when the police arrived. I ran out of my hiding place and straight home. When I got home, I went straight up to my room. Phew, that was really close, I thought. I can't screw this up now, not when my life is so perfect. I knew I needed to be more careful in the future. I decided that I wouldn't do any more interviews. I was still getting loads of free things sent to me though, which was great. But the only problem was my jealous little sister. One evening she came into my room as I was looking through some more of my free gifts. "How come you're getting all these new clothes and things sent every day?" she asked. "How could you afford to buy all this stuff?" "Get out of my room," I screamed. "It's none of your business." She had better not be the one who ruins all of this for me, or she is going to be in big trouble, I thought. But she wouldn't let it go. At breakfast the next morning, she brought it up again, but this time in front of my parents. "Tina, how come you have so much new stuff?" she asked. I was about to answer her when Mom joined in. "Yes, Tina, you are buying a lot of things online recently. It seems like a parcel arrives for you nearly every day. I do hope you're not spending all of your money." If only she knew, I thought to myself. My bank account was looking better than it had ever been. I had more money than they could even dream about. "No, Mom," I said. "Everything that I buy is in the sales. It's discounted so much that it's practically free. No need to worry." Mom smiled at me. "Okay, darling, I trust you. I know you would never do anything silly." My sister glared at me. I decided the only way to get her to shut up was to give her something. "After breakfast, come up to my room," I said to her. "I have something for you." When she came to my room, I handed her a new handbag. "Here, I bought this for you," I said. "Oh, thank you," she said. "You're the best sister in the world." Well, that should keep her happy for a while. Hopefully she will stop quizzing me now, I thought. I hoped that now I would be able to relax and enjoy my new life again. All the stress of nearly being caught out had exhausted me. But unfortunately, I had no idea how much worse it was going to get. That evening, when I turned on the TV, my whole world came crashing down. On the screen was a photo of Linda Cortez, and underneath it was written, "Linda Cortez, victim of hacker." My heart dropped a mile. I turned up the sound to listen to what the newsreader was saying. He told how someone had stolen all of her followers and was pretending to be Linda. He went on to say that an imposter was showing up at events that were intended for Linda. I couldn't believe that it had made the news. There was no way I was going to give up on everything I had. I knew that I would have to think up a new plan. Suddenly, I heard someone knocking at the door. I wondered who it could be. I went and opened up the door. There was a good-looking man standing in front of me. "Yes," I said. "Can I help you?" "Hi, Linda," he said, smiling. I was taken aback for a second. "What?" I said. "I'm not Linda. You must be mistaken." I tried to close the door, but he held it open with his foot. "What are you talking about?" he went on. "Of course you are, Linda. Don't you remember me?" No, sorry, I don't. I'm Tony." I looked at him blankly. "Your ex-boyfriend," he went on. Oh my God, how was I going to get out of this one? I needed to convince him that I was Linda. Otherwise, he'd call the cops on me. "How did you find me?" I asked him. "Oh, that was easy," he said. "I just traced your IP address from your Instagram account and found you here." But just then, he seemed to notice the TV behind me. The newsreader was still talking about the hacker. Tony looked from the TV straight to me. Then his eyes wandered around my house. "Wait a minute, this isn't Linda's house," he said. "Who are you? Are you the person that hacked into Linda's account? Yes, I cried finally. But please, don't tell anyone. My life was awful before, but since I became Linda, everything is so good. Okay, he said. I won't tell anyone. I breathed a sigh of relief. But you need to do something for me. What? I asked. I want you to help me get back with Linda. How can I do that? He told me he wanted me to call up Linda and tell her that I was the hacker, and I wanted to meet with her to apologize. But if I do that, she will call the police and I will get arrested, I said. Oh, don't worry, he said. I will convince her to forgive you. Everything will be fine. I wasn't sure what to do, but in the end, I agreed to help him. I had no choice, did I? The next day, I called Linda and told her that I knew who the hacker was. I asked her to meet me in town at a cafe. Tony picked me up and we drove together to the cafe. On the way, Tony pulled into a supermarket car park. I just want to stop and buy some flowers and make a phone call, he said. When we reached the cafe, I could see Linda sitting at a table. As I approached her, she stood up, but instead of talking to me, she spoke to Tony. Tony, what are you doing here? She asked. I found your hacker. This is her, he said, pointing at me. I looked at Tony in shock. What are you doing? I cried. You said you would help me. I don't care about you. I just wanted to show Linda how much I love her. He pulled Linda into his arms and she smiled at him. I couldn't believe what was happening. He had betrayed me. That's when I heard the sirens. Seconds later, police came bursting into the cafe. That's her, shouted Tony. The police came and put handcuffs on me. Thanks for the anonymous phone call, young lady. You are under arrest, said the officer. So, that was it. My new life had come to an end. I guess I should have learned to be true to myself, rather than try and pretend to be someone else.